So can we just get your reaction to this morning's press conference? What should the UK be doing now?
Well, we want to work cross-party with the government because this is a very serious moment for our country, the possible ending of the NATO alliance if Trump does what he says he's going to do. So we want to work cross-party. I was a bit disappointed by the Prime Minister at his press conference when he took retaliatory tariffs off the table. Nobody wants them, but we need to work with our European allies. They've kept them on the table, and it would be better, in my view, to be stronger, work with our allies. That's the sort of language that Trump might listen to.
Just on that point, isn't the PM right to say that a trade war would hit businesses, workers and families? Surely nobody wants a trade war.
No one wants a trade war, but as our European neighbours and others are doing, they're keeping this threat on the table to show that we're not going to be bullied by Donald Trump. The way to beat a bully is to show that you're serious and will stand up. And I think you're already seeing in the Senate with Republican senators, you're seeing in the markets, there's a lot of pressure for Trump not to do this. And if we keep retaliatory tariffs on the table with our European colleagues, I think we're more likely to stop him.
Should we see the cancellation of the King's trip to the US, marking the country's 250th anniversary?
Well, the government advises the King, and I think Keir Starmer should advise the King not to go on a state visit if the President pursues this strategy of tariffs on the UK. It would be a deeply hostile act with no justification whatsoever, and I don't think we should reward Donald Trump. No one wants to interfere with the decisions of the monarch, of King Charles, least of all me, but the advice given by the Prime Minister should be that this state visit shouldn't go ahead.
Just more generally, do you think Sir Keir Starmer's been too soft on the US?
I think the government strategy on the US has been wrong from the start, primarily because they haven't stood up to the bully in the White House and they haven't shown alternatives. Liberal Democrats have argued that we should, for example, negotiate a customs union with the EU so we have other trade growth to offset the horrible tariffs and protectionism from Donald Trump. We should also increase our defence spending, work with our allies in Europe and the Commonwealth so that we are more secure if President Trump isn't prepared to help us and help our security in the way that all his predecessors did.
And just finally, some of your MPs have told the Guardian newspaper that you've been perhaps too academic, too cautious in your approach. Are you being bold enough?
Well, listen, I know it's frustrating, particularly in opposition, when the government is failing so badly, and I share those frustrations. But we're the only party with a plan to tackle the cost of living, and the only party with a plan to improve our health service, and the only party standing up to Donald Trump, which is why I'm here.